It's in prime time, under the bright lights for you on the sidelines. And fans in the stands keeping doubly pride high. The gridiron fly guys, the green and the gold, yeah, they call it the franchise. The gizmos, the miles, the moves, the Kepleys, old spaghetti legs, everything. Double E's, and up.
I got to make sure my mics are on. The Double E, they go and do something they haven't done since 2004, and that's sweep the Labor Day series. They also are doing something that they haven't had done since October 2nd of 2021, and that's not sit in the bottom of the CFL West Division. The Edmonton Elks move up to 4th as they continue their climb to a playoff spot. They've won 5 of their last 6 games now. And as VR Montenegro said in the Nasty Chat, for those that are on the Cool Bet, over 6.5 wins on the season. Just 2 more to go. Welcome to the Green and Gold Postgame Show, live right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Thanks to those tuning in on TuneIn, iHeartRadio, on our website at edmontonsportstalk.com, those watching on YouTube, as well as those listening to the podcast in the future. Matt Iwanyk, Jay Milne, Jimmy Onishi. Did Matt and Jay coordinate their outfits? We absolutely did. Jay doesn't want to admit it, but we texted each other this morning going, hey, what are you wearing?
Fine.
I'm going to wear the same thing. No, when we showed up today, Jay just started laughing because he went, look at us. And we got those comments made in the pregame show. Lots to get to somewhat on the show today as the Edmonton Elks, never in doubt. Start to finish, the Elks dominated this football game. They win that Labor Day series, sweep the Calgary Stampeders, who just outright are not a good football team. And it's about time the Stampeders are not a good football team because they've been a damn good franchise for a long time. But they went for a new quarterback in Logan Bonner. It didn't work. It didn't work at all. Your thoughts, Nasty Chat, Paris Jewelers inbox 780-218-9999. Jay, your thoughts on the game?
Well, like you say, Calgary's been a dominant club, and you just hate to see them down. You hate to see them losing in this fashion. No, you don't. No, you don't. You love it, baby. You love it. Stamps stink. That was awesome. That was just a dominant performance. They did everything they needed to do. NBT took care of the ball, except for that one, that was just really bad. The game was out of reach at that point. Not that it makes it, still counts as an interception. Be interesting to see how that pans out. I mean, that's obviously a story we'll get into a bit more, or as much as we can. But no, that was just a dominant game.
We got something going on at Woodbine right now.
Oh, yeah.
There's this group behind us that were really into the Elks game.
I don't think they've lost a race today.
But they've also really into the Woodbine races. And they get going on this one. Sorry to interrupt, but they're really into the Woodbines, which, okay, I'm sorry. Before we continue with this, I just got to call it out. We're live at Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge. Every day is game day. Wonderful location. Come down and join us. I had a rough day on the tracks.
Okay.
On the horses. It was like the only bad thing that happened today. You had a wonderful day. You had a great day. The Elks had a wonderful day. They had a great day. But I had bad juju. I'm going to throw that out there. Anyone that watched to the end of the kickoff show, we had Frank, was her name, she said?
Her name, she said, was Frank. And
at the end of the show, she just wouldn't leave us alone as we're trying to wrap up the show, and she's leaning in front of me to get into the camera, and then when Jay tried turning the camera to face her, she said no, and then after when we finished, she offered me a shot like 5 times.
5 times. Do you want a shot? You want a shot? You want a shot?
So I had bad juju there, but the Edmonton Elks didn't get that bad juju. They had actually, I'm waiting to see what the official attendance was, but they had virtually a sold-out lower bowl, and we were worried before the game, or you were. Would that, like...
No, you were.
No, you had a little bit of a scare. You said going in that...
Right. This game had the...
Where you were yesterday to today,
yeah,
it came down, you were a little scared.
This game had the makings of being a hiccup game or a look-ahead game where you're not focusing on the task at hand, thankfully. And that's what I said in the kickoff show, is this team is legit. This team is a focused team. This team is together. They ran the ball, including a couple quarterback runs, but 29 times. That's a season high. 29 rushes, 213 yards. At the end of the day, you have 7 turnovers by the Calgary Stampeders, 5 interceptions by Logan Bonner.
You better win that football game.
Mike, Bonner's at the door. 2 turnovers on downs. Edmonton was +6 in the turnover ratio today. This stat is just, I mean, let's face it, they've taken advantage of Calgary, who is clearly the bottom-feeding team in the CFL right now. They cannot move the ball. They had a hard time running it against Edmonton today, and the defense took advantage of it. And that's when those are games, let's pad your stats. Logan Bonner did not impress me at all.
He didn't impress anyone. I don't think there's anyone that could be impressed by that performance.
Jake Mayer must be injured. Otherwise, I don't know how you would justify leaving Bonner in that long. Just a dominant performance. I mean, I must say, though, it was a little bit of a slow start. A little bit of a sloppy start. MBT could have thrown an interception in the second play of the game. And then it was a little bit of a back and forth, but then Purifoy, huge interception, kind of stopped the bleeding early in the first quarter. And then, things started moving along. That second quarter, both you and I turned to each other and said, something to the effect of it was 8 minutes left in quarter 2, and they ran like a beautiful draw play, like a delayed draw to Kevin Brown up the middle for 14 yards. Later in that drive, it was capped off by a designed end-around run play to Tevin Jones for a touchdown. 2 plays that we've never seen out of this offense. And, very nice to see them expanding that offensive playbook. So, no, I think this was just a dominant game, and they stepped on their throats. If MBT didn't throw that pick 6, I mean, this is a blowout.
Well, they still got another touchdown after.
They did.
And made it. To me, that's a blowout. 37-16, this is a blowout. I will say this. I'm intrigued by the MBT. Why he didn't continue in this game. To me, this leads to, because we mentioned in the kickoff show, Murray McCourt from the VIP Golf Show, last episode of the season goes tomorrow, 8 o'clock right here on Edmonton Sports Talk in the morning. But he's rather connected, and he texted me yesterday saying he heard from someone within the organization, a source to him, that said this team, Trey Ford's not 100% healthy, that they will go to Trey Ford after the upcoming bye week. The Elks are on a bye this week. Then they get the 2 series against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. But he was available should something happen to MBT. And if Murray is right on that and completely, then that makes sense. MBT got banged up, injured, and then Trey came in. But the flip side is, did Trey or did MBT just have a little small thing happen? They're like, it's already a blowout. We're just going to rest MBT for the rest of the game and throw Trey Ford out there. So with what we had earlier, I'm very intrigued with how that went because it didn't look like much for MBT. But he looked like he was in a lot of pain.
Looked like some sort of a strain, maybe like a groin or something in his lower abdomen that was strained after he threw that interception. But Trey came in and took care of the ball, put together, he did not look like he was still laboring or in any sort of pain. I mean, wasn't that beautiful to see that designed quarterback keeper where faked Kevin Brown up the middle and swiveled and went around the outside? That was just a beautiful play.
That's my other friend.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Yeah,
that's what I said. That's why I said it down there.
No, that was someone different, I thought. Really? No, maybe I was wrong. I do want to get to a couple messages. One in the Paris Jewelers inbox, one in the Nasty chat. Paris Jewelers inbox, Dave says, I was at the game tonight. Words can't describe the feeling of Commonwealth with that many people enjoying football in person. Can I get a shout out to Jake Julian? His punts had more air than my last bag of family-sized Doritos. I will say this. If you were at that game, text us. Let us know what you thought of the atmosphere. With those cowbells as well that helped with it. I heard the noise come through the TV broadcast here at Central Casino really well. But what was it like having over 30,000 people all in the lower bowl? Because that's the one thing. Last year it was 32,000 for the Labor Day rematch. But it was...
Yeah, VR Montenegro kicked it off earlier. The atmosphere at Commonwealth was electric. Great crowd.
The thing is, like from last year, people were sitting up high as well, so it was spread out, and it was a great atmosphere. I was there, but what was it like if you were all in the lower bowl? Let us know. But also to this point, because we had this, I don't know if it was your brother-in-law who said it or if it was you that said it.
Yeah, Tucker was here, my brother-in-law.
Yeah, but Smith TM14 said I got my tickets for the home game against Winnipeg. And somebody mentioned...
I did.
Was it you?
Is this going to have some...
Are we going to see full...
rollover.
Sellouts almost for the rest of this season? The Elks are at home in 2 weeks.
Huge game.
They're coming in winners of 5 of 6. That right there, it's a massive game where if you beat the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, I want to just pull up my standings here quickly. I clicked the BC lines. I did not want to do that. If you win that game, if you're the Edmonton Elks,
these aren't updated.
Yeah, they'll be 2 points back.
Well, Saskatchewan's is updated. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but if Edmonton's going to get to 10 points right away,
yeah,
they're 4 back of Winnipeg. They win that football game, they're 2 back of Winnipeg for at least second place in the West, with a game in Winnipeg the week after where you would actually move into second in the West, depending what happens with Saskatchewan Roughriders.
If you hear what you're saying?
If you go sweep the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, you need to make sure for the Edmonton Elks to be sitting in a home playoff spot.
Wow.
Would be for Saskatchewan to have lost a game. That's it.
Well, I mean,
you go take her, and quite frankly, right now, like, what would you? And I know there's some people that aren't always wanting everything betting, but what would you put that spread at right now? Edmonton, Winnipeg, in Edmonton.
In Edmonton,
in 2 weeks,
I would favor Winnipeg. I would say -2.5.
Right, it's close.
Yes,
it's a close football game right now. Like that's an evenly matched game, I would say, right now, as they go up against each other.
Matt, this team can beat and play with any team.
100%.
I mean, and I saw something funny that TSN put on the broadcast right at the end that kind of saying what we've been talking about, that even though they started out 0-7, as we all know, they were all close games. They were very close. Like, they averaged, where was the stat here? 7 losses by a total of 30 points. Those first 7 losses. That's an average of 4.28 points per game. I mean, this team is now, but they are playing better. They are playing, but look at tonight. Offense, you give them a check, right? They played well. Yeah. Defense, how can't you? 7 takeaways. Special teams. Right?
There's nothing wrong with special teams tonight.
Absolutely nothing wrong with our special teams. And yeah, I do like that whoever that was that pointed out the punting of Julian with
Dave.
Doritos, Dave. Great point, because we are so lucky here to watch this guy kick. This is just everything is automatic. He has not shanked one. He has put everything on the money. And, Calgary did a good job of letting a couple of those grow into the end zone and get the single points. He would probably be upset with that as a punter. 2 rouges.
That's 2 points.
But, this guy's automatic. That's huge. So all 3 facets of the game were running smooth, like a well-oiled machine. And, yeah, you win 37-16. Seems a lot closer than what it probably should have been. But I did learn that Bonner is not good.
Well, there's a lot of work that needs to be. He's not a starting quarterback.
He's not ready yet.
I will, at the very least, we could say he's not a starting quarterback at this moment in the Canadian Football League. And Jake Mayer better be hurt. Otherwise, you might as well try Tommy Stevens. Yeah. Because one person that I just saw it, Jason in the Paris Jewelers inbox, another American gunslinger comes up here and tries to arm throw the passes, didn't step into those INTs. Those picks were just underthrown. They weren't good. And the Calgary Stampeders just overall, their O-line couldn't protect that well. Entirely, the Edmonton Elks ran Calgary out of Commonwealth Stadium today.
Ooh, this is great. I wish whoever this is that text in here to the Paris Jewelers inbox, 7802-1899. Text back in, and we can put your name up here. But this is a great point. I was at the game. Great atmosphere. I would like to see them open the upper bowl. This is what I want about. For $5 to $20. They will get much bigger crowds. What's the harm in opening it up? Because we talked about it earlier. They had a huge crowd because they were letting kids in for free. Open the upper bowl up for cheap tickets.
Well, I don't know the full economics about this. I've had this argument in the past that
it's not good economically. It's not good.
Then you don't
devaluing your product a bit.
Are you going to sell 30,000 more tickets?
But maybe you offer that for family pricing.
Well, they've done it.
$40 you bring, or $25 you bring your family.
I stand by it. You don't open up the upper deck for a couple of years.
I don't mind that.
You build that up.
There's something there.
No, but the problem is the moment you open up the upper deck, you spread out people. The moment someone pays for their ticket, they're going to start moving to the upper bowl. And people aren't going to buy the lower bowl tickets.
No, you're right.
Part of this move to the lower bowl right now is to build that atmosphere in the lower bowl. And the moment you go, we should go do the upper deck, back to that. Well, now people aren't going to spend money on those lower bowl tickets, and they're going to go sit up or high, and everything gets spread out, and you have 35,000 people spread out across 60,000 seats or 56,000 seats. That's the issue with that, in my opinion. You keep it lower bowl, you keep it there. There's also the added cost that it comes, where the reason the Elks can open up the upper bowl this week was they didn't know that they were going to get to this number until late this week.
Sure.
You can't just open up an upper bowl. You need staff. You need more security for people in the stadium. You need ushers. You need to plan for the fooding.
That's manageable. That's pretty easy to do.
Not in a span of a couple days.
No, you're right. But listen to this,
and they've closed the upper bowl for a reason. You can't just because you had one good game all of a sudden be like, we're moving back to opening up the upper bowl for good.
No, I'm not saying it, but as an organization, it would be... You'd be silly not to at least consider it and say this. And listen, they've got 2 weeks before their next home game. So if you as an Elks fan go out and get your tickets now, start purchasing them, give them no option. Let's say that half the lower bowl is sold out by the end of next week, which would be like their second biggest, you know what I mean?
Well, that's what it comes at. You want to, if you're Edmonton, you want to open up the upper deck,
buy tickets.
Yeah. It's that simple. And I don't think it's going to fully be there. The other thing is some people are saying you make money food, drinks when you open it up. The city actually makes a lot of money, if I'm not mistaken, on the food. The deal doesn't come. It doesn't all go to the Elks. They're not the owners of Commonwealth Stadium. And that's part of the issue here for the Elks is that they don't actually get all that money. So now you're welcoming people for really cheap. Well, that might actually be less. You might not be profiting because of the extra cost that you're doing. Well, and you don't make the money in other spots. So they closed it for a reason. And just because we had one game where we were this close, you don't just go, we got to open it up again. Right now, it hasn't been proven that people are going to come in and week out, that it's worth having the upper deck opened once again. That you can't do that after one game. You got to prove it.
I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying there is a way to do that and incorporate maybe an expanded knothole gang, or like something where you can make it like the Elks will come up with it. They got the right team to do that, where you can make it something that's more affordable for a family. Have family sections up there, but I do agree with you wholeheartedly. And I won't. No,
the family sections actually right now is lower bowl.
Right, but I get it. But the point here, and you're correct, is to drive the demand up. Yes. And keep it in the lower bowl, even for the, for the rest of the year.
I would say 2 years.
Don't even, whatever the timeline is, create the demand. Have a sellout or two where people are, I can't walk up and buy tickets anymore. That's good for business. That is really good for business. So, yes, I agree with you. I'm just partially dreaming, spitballing something here as to ideas to how to, but listen, they've won 5 of 6. Mm-hmm. This is what happens.
No, absolutely.
Right?
And if you,
great. It's a great.
I go back to and there was a lot of tickets that were given for free today.
I think I said Deb.
There was did she answer?
No.
Oh, okay. That's the voucher, or the winner. She gives away the cash for the win.
I'm going to ask her name.
The thing is, too, there were some free tickets given today because kids got in for free if you bought an adult ticket. The thing I'll say, the Banjo Bowl that was played today out in Winnipeg was sold out over a month ago.
Yeah.
If you want to open up the upper bowl a month ago, we need to get to that point where we can say in July or August, the Elks could sit there and say, we're at 25,000 tickets sold for Labor Day rematch already. We're opening up the upper deck for that game. You can't do it a week or two out, in my opinion, to build that buzz for at least a few years. They still need to work on building that buzz. And so you want to get that upper deck back open. I want to see it open again. It's a great spot to watch a game. You love it. I love it.
Spot, yeah.
You got to create it as a demand, And ultimately, it comes down to the ticket buyers. Go show the Elks that they need to open it up.
There's so many. I mean, and if you guys are watching right now and you like what you're hearing, and hey, let me just say this. We entered into this, the kickoff show. We opened up the post-game show with the most iconic handcrafted beat/rap made by Josh Clausen, everybody's favorite weatherman. For Josh Clausen, hit the thumbs up. And just so you know, that will only come in the post-game show. Are we agreeing to this?
I'm good with that.
Yeah,
because I wasn't going to play it tonight.
It will only come on when the green and gold win. I think that's fair. It'll come on in the kickoff show, but only for a victory. And that's the only time I get to enjoy one of these fresh, crisp 6 o'clock or longer. Matt, thank you for buying this for me. Matt bought this for me. So, you know, as much as you'd like to think he's a curmudgeon,
you took up my dinner.
I did take care of dinner because it was a good day. Hey, ships rise together, baby. Right? You got to take care of each other.
Oh, we got to bring this up. Smith, because this was a turning point of the game potentially as well. Smith, TM14, the owner driving the old fire engine through the Stamps bench. For those that were at the game and driving home, Larry Thompson, the owner of the Edmonton Elks, who's having a great run with this team right now, he was driving the mini fire truck, throwing out the footballs into the stands, and he turned too soon, and instead of going around the Stampeders bench, he went right through the Stampeders bench. And
classic old guy driving, man.
They were not happy about that by all accounts. But maybe that rattled the Calgary Stampeders in this game. Maybe they went, what is going on? We're going to get run over on our bench? But actually, you want to know something? How many times did they run that horse behind the visitors' bench? I think they've moved it to the home side now, but it used to be behind the visitors' bench down in Calgary, McMahon Stadium.
Yeah. My wife rode that horse for a whole season.
That was having to go by that bench all the time, and that's a small area.
She ran over a cop.
Screw you, Calgary. Good job, Mr. Thompson. I'm going with Mr. Thompson moving forward.
Mr. Thompson.
For that one. At least for that one. For tonight, he is Mr. Thompson.
Honestly,
for doing that.
Like, that needs to go. If we were on the ball a little bit more as EST, and like we talked about a lot of merch ideas and things that are coming up. I won't say anything, but as EST, like, if we could quickly get that screenshot put on a shirt, and like say first sweep in 20 years, and it's Larry Thompson driving the mini fire truck through their bench. That would be iconic. You'd sell out. You'd sell out in minutes. Yeah, you know, and I mean, if we're looking at the game, if we're breaking down numbers, I mean, the first number you got to look at is the turnovers. Total turnovers was 7 for Calgary, 1 for Edmonton. If you look at the time of possession, it was 30 minutes to 29 minutes. Total first downs, 23 for Edmonton, 22 for Calgary. Statistically, this was, you know, if you took away the turnover category, you'd look at this and say, oh, wow, this must have been a close game. But when you're turning over the ball 7 times, and to Edmonton's credit, they only gave the ball away once. That's +6. That's a winning formula.
Sorry,
you're going to win games.
I'm trying to get confirmation of something. I got some news for the Winnipeg game. But I just want to double-check confirmation on that one.
But, hey, I mean...
Something for us to discuss.
Right now, if you're... how can't you be happy? This is the first time in 20 years that the team... Hey, Maddie, let me ask you this. I wanted to ask you this earlier. When's the last time you felt this much energy and positivity and good vibes around this club?
There was a period last year where they won 3 or 4 at this point.
But not as much as this.
After Labor Day rematch, it felt good. But that was also 3 or 4. And then it went away.
This is 5 of 6.
This is 5 of 6. I never thought that I would have said, like,
sweeping the Labor Day. That's big.
I don't think after those 4 games last year, I would have said, you know, if we started the first season right now, I'd pick the Elks to be a Grey Cup contender. If we were going to start the season as of next week, after everything, this was all preseason, I'd be taking the Elks as one of the contenders for the Grey Cup. That's how good. So the last time this would have happened would have probably been sometime in the years following 2015 Grey Cup.
Right.
Maybe it would have been 2015.
I was going to say 2015. That's the last time that there was, you know, this buzz. And you know what? I'm so happy for the diehards, the fans that were there, that packed the stadium, that got to see that and be a part of that. This is a fan base that deserves this so much. Like they really do. It's been some pretty dark years for a Double E fan. So kudos to those who stuck together. It'd be interesting to see what your poll ended up there from the kickoff show. But
I could quickly pull that up, but then I got to get the news from Jarius Jackson's post-game press conference. Yes, following more than more is 56%. The question was, after 4 of 5, has the interest in the Elks increased? 56%. Same as 24%. No, with already interested. Same, not interested at all, no matter what. 14%, and no, 5%. From the Turf District, Kayla, she was in the Jarius Jackson press conference. Jarius Jackson says Trey Ford is starting against Winnipeg. He said Trey's starting after the bye. McLeod Bethel-Thompson slightly injured.
So Murray round of clicks for Murray.
Well, round of clicks for Murray.
Round of clicks for Kayla. Good job. Thank you.
Thank you for letting us know on that one.
Breaking news. Good job.
So Jarius Jackson, post-game avail. If I could find anything else, if I could quickly find some video of it, I'll try to play it a little bit here. But Jarius Jackson saying Trey Ford will get the start following the bye week. This comes Murray McCourt from the VIP Golf Show. Tomorrow, 8 o'clock. We talked about it at the start of the post-game show, mentioned in the kickoff show. He said he was hearing from sources that Trey Ford was always going to start after the bye week. He was not 100% healthy yet. They think he's going to be 100% healthy after the bye week. He was only going to play should have something happened to MBT, which we saw happen. He got in, and they wanted to just make sure he was 100%. They are riding with Trey Ford. So they are making a little bit of move. When you look at how MBT did today, he was good today. He wasn't spectacular. He was really good. Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. 15 of 25, 219 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did throw a pick at the end, late in that game. Got banged up a little bit there. But
look at the rushing stats, Matty. Look at those rushing stats, baby. That's what you need.
Well, that 26 rushes by the 3 running backs.
By the running back.
By the
Justin
3 running
Rankin
backs.
Came in relief of Javon Leake, who looked to have a little bit of a ding there. And that guy, man, that Justin Rankin is to have a 3-headed unit like that if somebody goes down, you can step in and improve. That's great. And I just want to shout out to Norman and Combine. I know you're out in the fields and all the other farmers that are out there harvesting. Thank you for listening. Try not to get too dusty. Let's say that.
I forgot about this. Trey going up against his brother Terrell. Bring it on. Terrell, and that's from Charlie, who I think's out in Winnipeg. He's been a great defensive back this season, too. What was it, Huss? Said to me on the Lock Shop a couple weeks ago he's been the better forward this season. So I guess we will have to wait and see on that one. That'll be a fun matchup, though. Two brothers going at it.
My boy C. Hendo in the Nasty Chat. Team is rolling. Wins put people in the seats. The atmosphere, experience, and excitement is starting to cook. Really feels like this upturn is going to last. And I think this is a pivotal game for this.
I'll say that.
For that kind of discussion. Whereas this could have been a letdown game. This could have been a look-ahead game because they have a bye week coming up. They're feeling good about themselves. They could have really laid an egg here. However, they did not. They put the gas down. They didn't let up. And I'm just, forgive me if you're getting annoyed with me saying this, but they committed to the offensive game plan was beautiful. It was great. I don't know why Deacon St. John says, I didn't think MBT had a good game. Did we say he had a good game, or did we say he was good enough?
I said he played really rather well.
What
did I exactly say? It's not. He was better than average.
Yes.
If we're raging the thing, I'm not going to say he was spectacular tonight. He was look, spectacular is close to 480 some yards that we saw last week type thing. But he was pretty good.
That guy's got a Geno Lewis jersey.
Is it a Geno? I was looking at what it was.
Awesome.
They're getting rid of the white lettering next year. The Green Bay Packer type lettering.
Why?
They announced that in a town hall this week with
they're going back to gold
with Mr. Thompson.
They must be because
they're going back to the old stuff or whatever. They don't want to look like the Packers.
Sure, fine. I'm not against that. I'm for it.
By the way, this is the Green and Gold post-game show. Iwanyk and Jay Milne. Elks defeating the Stamps 37-16. I goofed up on the pregame show. You've corrected me. This is the first sweep for the Edmonton Elks since 2004. I was saying 2002. It's 2004. So 20 years, the Edmonton Elks, last time they swept the Labor Day series. It's actually weird. Now it's tied, but for the longest time, they dominated Labor Day.
Yes.
But the Stamps have the series in rematch.
18-17 now. It was 18-16, now it's 18-17.
So with the chance next year, the Elks could get both back, or they could tie one and take back the other series, which will
don't
hopefully
forget,
they can do.
Edmonton has another game against this team yet remaining.
Actually, that's where I wanted to get to. I wanted to look
huge.
at the rest of the schedule, but I got the post-game stats, so I get the official attendance now. 32,144 at the game today.
Wow.
32,144. That to me, I was told Evan Dom on the Hangout 31,000 or whatever was lower bowl capacity. That's capacity of the lower bowl. Round of clicks for the city of Edmonton and Elks Nation, Elks fans all out there.
Round of clicks for that Geno Lewis jersey over there.
Sure, I'll do that as well. 32,144. That is the attendance tonight down at Commonwealth Stadium, which just looked like an absolute atmosphere. But I'm looking at this Winnipeg series, and I'm looking at possible losses, right? Like, look, if they can go run the rest of the table here, how incredible would that be? What kind of story would that be? But let's say they split against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Just for argument's sake.
Matty, besides that in the Saskatchewan game, the rest are wins.
Well, no, I'm going to say I look at Saskatchewan, Calgary, and Toronto and go, those are 3 wins that I could see.
Yeah,
this team is the Edmonton Elks are better than the Saskatchewan Roughriders. The Edmonton Elks are clearly better than the Calgary Stampeders. And the Edmonton Elks are better than the Toronto Argonauts.
And
in fact, if things go well enough, this may be crazy to say.
Don't do it.
I won't
Matty
do that
Mush.
one. I won't do that one.
You almost did. You did it in the post game. You're learning.
What did you think I was going to say?
I don't want to know what you were going to say.
Okay, I'll tell you after the show.
Sure.
We won't do it on here.
Mush.
This isn't now a must-win sweep of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Had they dropped one of these against Calgary, you'd sit there and go, you have to sweep this. And with where Winnipeg is and how well they're rolling right now, as good as Edmonton is, you got to give respect to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and realize that
we were just talking about your jersey. It's wicked. You guys are doing great. Well, hello. Cheers.
What are the names?
Cheers, fellas.
Get their names.
What are your names? Cole and Ben. Welcome, Cole and Ben. Round of clicks for Cole and Ben.
Cole and Ben. Showed up.
All right, there we go.
Where was I going with that? But Winnipeg, you got to give them respect. They have every chance of beating Edmonton as Edmonton has to beat them.
Sure.
You go get that split. I look at the rest of that. I see at the very least 2 of 3. Like right now, the Elks are going to go 3 of their last 5, I would say at minimum. So that puts you at 8 wins this year.
Can I just remind you,
is that going to be good enough for playoffs in the West?
Who?
I think it might
8
be.
8 and 10?
Yes.
Yes.
I think that's good enough.
Yes. Matt, can I just remind you that a couple weeks ago you laid out the path, and you said how important the month of September was for this club. And Rain Man, you've done it again. You done did it, Matty. You done did it. You called it. You said this is what has to happen and take a split against Winnipeg. Now, I mean, looking at the nasty chat, looking at and looking at the team that we just watched, there's a real sense that forget a split. Go for both. Go for the sweep. So kudos to you for calling that, and this is big. I mean, getting this sweep, which has not happened in 20 years, was imperative to the path to making the playoffs and the path to possibly. I mean, hey man, there's a chance here to host the Western semifinal if this train keeps on chooching along, right? Tell me I'm wrong.
Oh, I can't. The only way I would you go sweep Winnipeg.
Then there's a chance.
Then
for
it's all on. It's all on the line. I'll just say, just hosting a West game.
Yeah.
It's all on. It's all there. The path is there. They control their destiny at that point. But you got to go sweep both, and that is going to be very difficult too. Because to me, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, okay, I'm going to throw this out there for 2 weeks from now. I'm going to West Final preview.
West Final?
West Final preview. Can we say that?
This next 2-game series.
At least the first one. Could we say that is a possible West Final preview right there? Because, like, I saw it on TSN yesterday when it was BC taking on Montreal, and they went Grey Cup preview. And I was like, I don't know if I'd put BC just there just yet.
Let's just say one of the two teams will be in the West Final. I don't know if it's
absolutely.
I think they could meet in their.
I think who are the two best teams in the West as over the last number of weeks?
Winnipeg and Edmonton.
I think so.
Hands down. It's not even a question.
BC's turning it on. Now I'm starting to see who BC is, and maybe Nathan Rourke is there, and this is a team to fear. But Saskatchewan's lost 7. We don't have to talk about Calgary right now.
Calgary's done.
I believe so. It's one of those, though. That's what I look at in that game going up against Winnipeg. To me, that's a potential West Final. That's ridiculous to think that I could say that from like 8 weeks ago, from 7 weeks ago. But here I am. Yeah. I think you can label that potentially as West Final preview. Because there's a good chance.
In that case, I mean, you're talking about now the season series and who would have the points, the advantage.
I never even thought of that.
Right? Like, jeez. This is a big next couple weeks that are coming up. Liquid Beaver is in the Paris Jewelers inbox, 780-218-9999. I think the Elks finished the last 5 games 4-1. I'm not disagreeing with you on that one, Sheldon. Stoked that Trey Ford is starting against the Bombers. Yes. Let's see here. Stamp Hater. I love that the 2015 team and I see a lot of this team. They are all rallied to the ball and arrive angry. I will say the defense changed the second Sean Oakman arrived. Yeah, I could agree with that.
I give full props to also Jason Shivers, just calling a really good defense.
And Dave, thanks for getting back to me. I'm going to add your contact into our Paris Jewelers inbox, and I think that was a good point you made on, Dave was the fella that said if they open up the upper deck, is there some strategic ways to get some more butts and seats?
That's a different. No, that was somebody else.
That's Dave. Oh shoot.
Yeah.
Never mind. Oh well, he's Dave.
His name's still Dave.
You're Dave forever.
Ian said, I'm okay leaving upper deck closed for the rest of the season. But 100 plus a ticket next year is not going to happen. Need to get back the family-friendly price for upper deck. They do have family pricing for lower bowl.
But what timing?
It's like $25.
What timing for this team right now to be going into a bye week, needing a little bit more for Trey Ford to get to the 100% mark? But I'm quite honestly stunned that J-Jack came out in the postgame conference and said that outright, that Trey Ford will be starting going forward. I don't. I mean, do I agree? Yes, I suppose I do, because Trey Ford was electric. Trey Ford is a difference maker. MBT has been playing pretty darn good, though, lately. So that would be a tough pill to swallow.
He's brought them to wins. But I will say this. I think then that would have been a plan that you would have told him.
Apologize. You said you would apologize formally to the club.
And I said I will wait till that week. Let me see that depth chart. Let me see that depth chart. Let me see that depth chart. Let me see the depth chart, Jay, and I will gladly do it. I will gladly admit it. I was wrong on that one. Babbage Stash saying all of a sudden Elks are Grey Cup contenders. Hot damn, what a turnaround. It's absolutely incredible right now. It's one of those things like the Edmonton Oilers did it. The Edmonton Oilers made a coaching change, and what happened? Are we seeing reverse Edmonton, or the same thing as the Edmonton Oilers, but can they do the thing that the Oilers just didn't do and maybe finish it all off? But are they following the same path here?
Stealth Legends in the nasty chat, great point. I'm just going to say our defense has looked like night and day since our offense has learned to move the ball and letting our defense have a rest, unlike earlier this season. Yes, that is huge. It's imperative.
My dad has texted me saying, ever since they got rid of Jones, seems like Jackson and Shivers are not looking over their shoulders.
Oh, yeah. You can't deny that now.
No.
That's Roman, that is a great point, because you're right. And, there was something happening there. Nobody can put the exact finger on it. Was he micromanaging them? Was he not letting them do their job as coordinators? It's hard to say, but I completely agree with that point. The second he left this program or this organization, things started to open up, and Jarius Jackson is putting together play calling like nobody's seen from him.
He's
doing good. Well, and don't forget Shivers. Shivers was getting
defense
piled on quite a bit earlier in the year, and now look at him. Now look at what he's doing. This team will now be leading the CFL in turnovers, in turnover ratio, and interceptions after tonight. That's impressive.
It's very impressive.
What do they say? Hey, who do they say wins championship?
Defense wins championships.
My guy.
I love defense. I do want to go through the stats of today's game as the Edmonton Elks. They defeat the Calgary Stampeders 37-16. They improved to 5-8 on the season, and they jump into 4th spot in the West. They haven't been outside of the basement of the West since October 2nd of 2021. So almost 3 full years basically sitting in the bottom. I'm removing the first week of the seasons where alphabetically they aren't at the bottom.
I like how you say that. You've said that numerous times.
No, because at the start of the season they aren't there, and through week 1. But October 2nd, 2021, the Calgary Stampeders beat, I think it was the Red Blacks. I had it as they beat Saskatchewan.
Who you guys got?
They passed the Edmonton Elks. Looking at the stats of the game, McLeod Bethel-Thompson, 15-25, 219 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Trey Ford came in. He only threw 1 pass. It was an incompletion. Kevin Brown, 12 carries, 91 yards. Javon Leake, 10 carries, 55 yards. Justin Rankin, 4 carries, 34 yards, and a touchdown. MBT was actually a nice run. It was 16 yards to get a first down. Tevin Jones, 1 carry, 13 yards, and a touchdown. Geno Lewis, he's heating up. 6 catches for 97 yards and a touchdown. Javon Leake, 5 for 27. Herji Mayala, 2 for 71. Gittins Jr., 1 for 18. Kevin Brown, 1 for 6. Gino had 6 catches. Mayala had 2 catches. Gittins had 1 catch. The rest were running backs. But they didn't need a lot.
And Mayala did leave the game with a lower body injury. So,
But they didn't need all of that. I will get to that. Jackson leading the way defensively with tackles. They had 1 sack. That was Noah Curtis. And then they had 5 interceptions in that game. Bynum with 2 of them. Jay's pointing at the punts. Jake Julian, 8 punts, 59.3 versus 4 punts, 45.4. I don't know if that's net, though.
That's 14-yard difference in average.
Net is 43.5 versus 42.5. I don't know how that means.
That's returns.
That's after the return?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
No, but punting-wise, he's putting them in.
I shouldn't be. Boris Beatty, 2 for 2, including a 41-yarder, 3 extra points all made. So good job, Boris Beatty. We don't have to talk about you in a negative way. Logan Bonner, 21 of 36, 285 4 yards, 5 interceptions, though. Dedrick Mills, 14 carries for 65 yards. He was the leading rusher for the Calgary Stampeders. Reggie Bagleton was the leading receiver, 8 catches for 123 yards. Dozier was the leading defender with 8 tackles. They got to MBT just once, and they had the 1 interception. Rene Paredes, 3 for 3, and an extra point. He's just so clutch.
I'll tell you who's winning right now as well is Century Casino.
A lot of people rolling in.
A lot of double E jerseys here. Yes, a lot of green and gold pilfering into the...
Now, Del Mar's over, so they can't bet on the Del Mar, although I didn't do well with Del Mar today.
Oh, yeah, I went off on Century Mile.
Century Mile. You were doing a good job with Century Mile.
3 races in a row. Picked the winner. 2 were gray.
Screw you, Tube Socks.
Why? Don't say that.
You guys want a shot? That's what he texted. Thanks, Tube Socks.
That was from the pregame show, the kickoff show, where Frank, who clearly wasn't Frank, just stood beside Maddie trying to get... She wanted to get on the camera, and then as soon as I put her on camera, she said, "Stop!" And then I said,
and then she kept leaning in afterwards.
Get the hell out of here, then. What are you doing? You're in our show.
And then she says, "Are you annoying me?" And I didn't want to be like, yes, you are. We're live on the air. This comes from Uncle Jesse. I like this. Boys, the hype got me. Drove up with my 4-year-old daughter from Calgary. Glad I did. Go Elks.
Wow.
The hype is going to be real. The hype is happening. Like, the Oilers have some players are starting to skate. Monday's, I think, the first real one that's going to happen. It's Oilers season right away here. I think the Elks are going to cut through this month still, though. That they still are good enough to cut through that and cut, where people are like, yeah, they'll be excited about the Oilers season and all of that. But in the end, people are going to also be excited about the Edmonton Elks team. There's 2 more games left in the month of September. 2 very big games against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And over the last many years, I would have been getting ready for an Elks Blue Bombers kickoff show going, this is going to be tough for the Elks. This is a tough one. It's not going to be easy to win this one. In 2 weeks, when we're getting set for that game, it's going to be This is going to be evenly matched. This is going to be a tight game. Can the Elks defense take advantage of Zach Collaros, who's a little bit aging? Will the Bombers be able to handle Trey Ford as the starting quarterback for this team and his speed? And I'll say this with Trey Ford, as much as I love Trey Ford and as the president of the Trey Ford fan club, I still hope that as long as he's healthy, they find a way to possibly mix in an MBT. If he's able to do that, if he's the type of quarterback that could come in for just a couple series.
No.
You wouldn't?
No.
Why not?
You don't need to.
I don't mind. I think you have two quarterbacks that are rolling right now, largely.
Not when you got a fella by the name of Trey Ford. Let me take you back to early June, Matt.
Okay.
Set the stage here. And the season hadn't started yet, obviously. There was a lot of optimism with the free agents, or the signings in the offseason that were made by Chris Jones. And a group of brave sports gamblers stepped out and actually changed the odds on Cool
Yes, you
Bet.
guys did.
So I just want to say shout out to the Glue Crew. Spency 5 Centsy, I see you. VR,
Oh, is he in it too?
I see you. And whoever else rode with Glue Guy. We are hunting for this. And I think, I'm not Marty Mush, so don't worry about that. I won't mush my own bet. We're going to get that. We're going to get that over 6.5 wins. Who knows? Maybe we'll have it in 3 weeks. Like now you can go into this game saying like, yes, there is a legitimate chance that Edmonton can sweep this series. And especially, I mean, Collaros is not 100%. Strevler is not a starting quarterback.
No, he's not.
So there is that dynamic as well. Like that's something that will, obviously wash through here. But
yeah, Collaros 24 of 31, 231 yards and a touchdown today against the Riders. He actually doesn't worry me. Although I think Kenny Lawler will find a way to beat the Elks.
I know who worries you.
Care to guess?
Brady Olivier.
Yep.
Yeah. And he worries me too.
Although
he has
not scored a touchdown this season.
But he's good. But you know what?
He's great.
So is Kevin Brown. So is Javon Leake. So is Justin Rankin.
100%.
So is Trey Ford. So is Kevin Jones. So is Geno Lewis.
I will also say, though, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, their defense has really turned it up. 21 points this week. Last week, they gave up a lot. 33. Week prior to that, they gave up 23 to the Hamilton. Prior to that, they gave up 11 to the BC Lions. The game before that, they gave up 0 to the BC Lions. And then before that, they gave up 16 to the Toronto Argonauts. But the defense actually, I think, only gave up 6 points in that game. I think the offense gave up more in that one. The Winnipeg defense is really good as well. So for somebody like Trey Ford, if he's getting that start in the end, he's got a challenge. It's not going to be easy.
So
Washington State
into
Cougars
this
are 7th
game,
over Texas Tech. Good job, Cougs.
Going into this game, they had the defense was averaging in their last 5 games 22 points given up. That number now goes down as they only allowed 16 points.
Well, actually, technically, we could bring it lower because the defense didn't give up 7 points.
True, but that's not how it works.
It does in my fantasy league.
Well, that's weird.
Why? I
points.
hate the other ones. No. I'm going to get into that. When I created my Dunya, the defense or special teams, if they are not on the field, why should they be credited with the points they didn't give up? If it's a pick 6, defense didn't give those points up. Special teams didn't give those points up. I hate that about fantasy football with the NFL.
Tell us what you really think.
So I changed it for my league. And what happens is I give the extra point. I know that's special teams, but I don't credit that one because who blocks an extra point. But if they give up the 2 points, they have to take the hit for the 2 points. But if you had the Edmonton Elks in fantasy, they should not be credited with 7 points.
I don't know. They didn't
score that.
Listen, the defense in fantasy shouldn't be allowed anyway.
No, I'm just saying that that's why the Dunya is the greatest league there is.
Like, you play fantasy for the offensive output, not for defense. Who cares? Marty Mush.
Why? I'm just my way's better. My way makes more sense.
Clearly it is.
Than the fantasy football. If you're starting a D in special teams and they don't give up a point, why should they get credit with that?
Wing Wednesday at Club 1 That must be here.
No.
Well, why would they be advertising it?
This is a broadcast. This is Remington Park.
That's Remington Park.
For $25
$25, all you can eat chicken wings.
$25, Remington Park, 107.7 the franchise.
That's like going to Squire's Pub back in the day, and I know my man.
That's in Oklahoma City.
My old Golden Bears teammate Simon Pacey's sitting at home. That's our friends visiting from Victoria. He remembers going to 10-cent wings at Squire's. Yeah, you do. We would have a pile of chicken bones.
Yeah, that's at Oklahoma City, by all accounts.
We're going to Oklahoma City, baby. $25 for all you can eat wings.
That's like $35.
How many chicken wings do you think you could eat?
$35.
What?
That's $35 or something. Exchange rate,
you're taking the exchange rate. It's not that much. It's like more like 32, but who's counting?
Canada.
Yeah, it's 1.38. Times it by 1.38.
$33.95, so it's closer to 35.
Yeah, you went over though, so you lose. Price is Right rules. How many chicken wings could you eat if you, let's say you're going to all you can eat, and you were just empty stomach. You were ready to go. You were Matty on fire. How many could you put down? Be realistic. And I'm not talking the jumbo like
just talking
Rod Smith Kelty chicken wings. I'm talking like a say an Earl's chicken wing.
So I would do salt and pepper-ish.
I didn't ask you for your flavor.
No, you have to. That changes it. If you do hot sauce, that's gonna fill you.
Okay, that's fair.
That's gonna hurt things.
You're right.
That's gonna. You gotta be. So you start with the prop. You just go with like a lemon pepper or salt and pepper. I feel like is this a good number? I could do 50.
That's a large number.
I think I could do 50.
That's a lot of chicken wings.
It's not a lot to me, I don't think.
That's a lot of chicken wings.
I think I could do 50.
Like they say a pound of chicken wings is usually, 12 wings, right? Like traditionally.
That's actually a good way to answer this then.
Yeah.
How many pounds?
No, how many chicken wings in a pound?
How many? This is how bad the Calgary Stampeders were today. There's not a lot to talk about with the game as much because the Elks just dominated that. How many wings in a pound? That's not what I'm looking for.
Now, I did, David, while he's looking at that, just tuning in, did anything happen to Javon Leake? There was nothing from the Edmonton Elks to the group chat about injuries. Usually they're pretty on the ball with that. To me, when he was coming off the field, it looked like something, a tweak, like an inner groin tweak, which, shut that guy down. The game was in hand at that point. You still have Justin Rankin and Kevin Brown, but we will be watching it's going to be a while until we know that. And good news is that they have a bye week coming up. So Javon Leake will get rested. I would not expect him to miss any time. Bold statement, Matty. 30 to 40 is a lot in my books.
I see, and I didn't realize the pound part, so I will change it. So I'm seeing one thing is that they say 5 or 6 wings per pound.
No, that's not right.
And something else is saying 4 to 5 wings in 1 pound.
No, like how big are these?
How many wings is a half pound of wings? This one's saying half pound's 3 to 4. So you're talking, okay, so we're saying 6, 7.
6, 7. Okay, sure. Let's go off that. Yeah, box pounder, great point. Leake was 10 for 55 rushing and 5 receptions for 27 yards. He carried the mail today.
I didn't eat all day. I could do 35. I could do about 5 pounds of wings.
5 pounds.
I'd say I could do about 5 pounds.
See, and it also depends on your ranch consumption.
I wouldn't use ranch.
I know. That's wise, because if you did, you're filling yourself with just creamy goodness, but you are filling your belly.
Ounces? Yeah, okay, I did a 40-ounce steak night, and I ate all the sides, and then I ate half of Dusty's 40-ounce steak and all of his sides, and 60 ounces of steak is 3.75 pounds with the sides, and I actually could have still eaten more that night. I actually could have done dessert. I could do 5 pounds of wings, easily.
Okay.
Easily.
Tube Sock says he could put down 8 to 10.
Total? Or pounds?
Pounds. I could see that from him because you know what? He would just he would settle into a groove.
See, but now the thing, here's the thing about those pounds, it doesn't take into account the bone part.
What do you mean?
Well, if you weigh the chicken wing, it's got bone. I'm not eating the bone. So I'm actually not consuming 5 pounds of chicken.
Nobody said anything about the weight.
No, I know, but if I'm going based off of 5 pounds, I'm actually not eating 5 pounds, though.
So what?
So I'm going back to 50.
I was just, yeah, okay, sure.
I'm going back up to 50 because that's 35, but I'm not eating a total of 5 pounds worth of chicken.
So
I want to eat 5 pounds worth of chicken. I think I could do that, so I would have to go, I say 15 more wings. I could do 50.
Let me ask you this then.
He said single wings.
Is it in the EST budget for us to fly down to Oklahoma City? Just you and I. Just a red eye to Oklahoma City, and then we go do the $25 all-you-can-eat and put this to rest. Can you imagine if somebody did all-you-can-eat chicken wings right now? They would be put out of business.
Century Casino sports bar menu.
Their chicken wings here are...
I know, they're good. You've
really
had
good.
them. So a pound of wings. What flavors do they have? There's that. I could do a lemon pepper, a pound of wings here. I could just order 5 pounds of wings one night. I'm here for a 3-hour football game. With the 1-hour pregame show, I accept I'm not working for that one.
Andrew Lamouche in the
Maybe
nasty
Century
chat.
will supply it for me.
Let's talk to Renee. Andrew Lamouche, what does the Elks defense rank overall in the league right now? Would it say on the CFL site? No, it doesn't just give a generic, like a number ranking them. But if you were to look at
well, they usually with that you look at the yardage. That's how they go. Like if you say the NFL top-ranked defense is yardage allowed.
No, there's turnovers. There's turnover ratio.
But like if you listen to a broadcast and they say this is the top-ranked defense, they go based off of yardage.
What yardage? Rushing yardage?
Total yards allowed.
Total yards
allowed.
Okay.
So opposition going into this week, the Elks were the last in terms of defense. 387 yards per game allowed. They were last. They should jump up. How many yards did they give up today? They gave up. I gotta go to week 14 here. They gave up 379 yards. So it won't drop much.
Well, keep in mind that average has been dropping throughout the last 6 games.
It has, but also, like, for that...
Well, what's the number one defense then, Matt?
The Elks gave up 43 yards and 23 yards in garbage time, so that adds to that, playing that prevent. Winnipeg is 324 yards.
That's the best?
Yeah.
So they were what? Again, sorry, 3?
It's about 60 yards difference.
60 yards average per game difference.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But that takes into account the whole season. Right?
That's the very poor start to the season where...
I guarantee you, if you looked at the past 6 weeks, they are by far and away the number 1 ranked defense in terms of yardage given up. But that stat doesn't... Matt, I don't agree with you. That stat does not include enough variables.
100%. But when you listen to a broadcaster, they say this is the top-ranked offense, they look at yards.
Maybe that broadcaster doesn't know what they're talking about.
No, that's just like the standard for things. Again, whether you agree with it or not, that's how when you hear someone say this is top-ranked defense, it's generally based off the yardage, at least with broadcasts.
Oh, no. Jimmy Onishi says boneless wings or nuggets. Yeah, we are not doing boneless wings.
No, if it's boneless wings, then it's less. I can't eat 50 boneless wings because it's a full pound, like the entire chicken. I'm eating a full weight of that wing. Whereas a regular wing,
like we're talking chicken wing eating challenge here,
right? But like if I order a pound of wings here at Century, not boneless, winged or boned in, I'm not eating a pound worth of chicken.
No,
because the bone would be part of that,
and you're not allowed to go to the washroom.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. But that's where, like, so I could eat more of those pounds of wings than a boneless wing. Boneless, I go back to my 35. I could do 35 chicken nuggets, basically.
Remember I was saying yesterday on the afternoon show I was excited because April was making chicken wings last week? She made so many chicken wings.
And how did you do?
Well, it's not so much how I did it. It was how she did. See, our friends were over. There's kids in the pool.
Well, but eating, how many did she eat? Or you eat? That's what I'm going with.
I don't know, like probably 10. 12?
Okay, see, 12 wings.
But she may have left some in a little long.
Overcooked? Dry?
Let's just say they were blackened.
Okay. And you still ate 12?
Some. Actually, I like that. Like, I like a little bit of char, a little bit of, when they were sauced in the nice teriyaki hot or whatever, and they get that little blackness to them. I like that. I prefer that, actually.
Kelvin says 50 is doable. Yeah, I think it would be.
Okay, Derek.
Now,
yes, you're on.
I'm not paying $100 for wings.
No. We're going to talk to Renee. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. We are going to host a, can I say?
Well, we got to still finalize it.
But can I say the date?
No, because I don't know if the staff can all do it. We need to do a watch party here at Century Casino.
We're doing a watch party.
Where everyone's going to come.
I think it would be fun if we had a chicken wing eating contest at that party. Not how many you can eat, because I don't want to, put the good fine folk here at Century Sports Bar and Lounge too hard up. But I'm just saying, first to eat, so fastest time. We line up like 5 tables, and each guy gets a plate in front of him, hot wings, because that's what real men eat. And first to finish the plate of wings.
You just called out your co-host.
Who, Reed?
Yeah. He says he does medium, not hot.
No, medium's fine.
No, you just called him out.
I meant like buffalo.
No,
buffalo.
You can't take it back. You called out your host. It's harsh. It's a little harsh. I got your back, Reed. I got your back.
I think that would be fun. That would be great, actually. I don't know. I probably wouldn't go in it, but
it's not a loophole. Spency 5 cents saying, Maddie, the chicken bone loophole is the weirdest loophole I've heard in a while. It's not a loophole. I'm trying to figure out how many I can eat.
But who cares about the weight?
Because that's how much I know how much I can eat based off of weight. I did 60-ounce steak night, or I did 40-ounce steak night, where I ate a half of another steak. So that's 60 ounces plus all the sides. So that is what I know from my basis of how much I could at least once in my life put into my body. So the question is, I have to base that with the pound of chicken wings. But I'm not eating a full wing. So the weight's got to be a little different. That's my point of that. It's not a loophole. I'm just trying to figure out how many I could eat if I had to guess. And I stand by 50.
This fellow, that's.
But again, it's got to be the salt and pepper, because if I'm doing the hot, I'm not doing 50 hot. Stomach's going to get destroyed.
This is the definition of a mullet. It is straight business up front and party in the back. It is probably the greatest mullet I've ever seen. And he's gray hair too.
I don't know why this Jarius Jackson news isn't out there.
Was it really smoky? Matt, on the broadcast, on the TSN broadcast, it certainly didn't look smoky. If you were at the game, let us know. I mean,
well, the air quality's dropped to 4. We're at a 4 right now.
Okay.
I don't know when it started dropping, but I just looked.
Man, the number of this is a noticeably larger crowd of.
There's a lot of people here.
Green and gold fans than normal, right?
Well, with their merch on or hats on, and they are here. 32,000 people were there.
Yeah, I guess it should be.
What was the highest attendance we had this year that we've seen?
18-something, I think.
I think maybe they had 21.
Was it 21?
I think maybe they had a 21.
It's been trending up.
But you're adding another 10,000 people. And we're talking to them before at Century Casino, perfect spot. You park here, take the LRT, go to the game, come back here. It's a great situation. I want to see if I could quickly find if Jarius Jackson's been uploaded audio. There isn't. So I'll just, Norman at Call Mine says, I'm in. On what? The fastest eating or the 50 wings, or how many wings you could do?
Fastest eating. Everybody has the same plate of, say, 12 wings. And it's the first person to put them down, and we will be be looking to make sure.
I would be awful.
Those bones are spotless.
Some people are way better at the breaking it and knowing how to.
Yeah, I know how to do that.
I'm not good. Lieutenant Eric has a good way of doing it. I'm not good at it.
Yeah, I know what it is. It's on the.
You got to twist something and then pull it off.
You take it, and you take the wing and you push it down, and it turns into a drumette, and you. Like a lollipop.
I just eat it, and there's usually just a teensy tiny bit left.
What about barbecue? Barbecue, actually, we've discovered that our daughters love barbecue sauce on their chicken wings, so we made a bunch of those last night, and then I had some. Man, just a good old, whatever. Jack Daniel's barbecue sauce, I think, was, or whatever. But that is a fantastic chicken wing. Some might say underrated.
The Edmonton Elks, they go out, they sweep the Labor Day series for the first time since 2004. They come out, and they're not in the basement of the CFL West for the first time since October 2nd of 2021. They defeat the Stampeders 37-16. They go to a bye week. They come out of the bye week with another team that goes into the bye week. That is the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. It's the first of 2 games, Edmonton and Winnipeg, in a couple of weeks. That is officially on September 21st at 5 5 o'clock. And as we got the report, Jarius Jackson saying Trey Ford will start against Winnipeg, and MBT slightly banged up, but Trey Ford is starting, and what we had from Marie McCourt from the VIP Golf Show earlier today, that no matter what, Trey Ford was going to be starting after the bye week. He was not 100%, and they wanted to make sure he's 100% as they are riding with hhim to hopefully a Grey Cup March.
It's giving me chills.
A playoff March. All of that with Trey Ford. But, with 2 weeks,
Maddie?
lots can change in those 2 weeks, but right now it's looking like Trey Ford will be the starting quarterback.
You know what I just thought of how this has been, as EST celebrated their 1-year anniversary yesterday.
Yes.
Just think of the things that happened in the Edmonton sporting landscape. I mean, it was
a ridiculous year. We got everything.
The Oilers, who started horrifically and turned things around, went to the Stanley Cup final, was within 1 goal of achieving that, fell short, but heck of a season, right? Year 1. Now you have the Double E that start out horrifically. They're putting it all together. There's rumor is that we're going to try get to the Grey Cup as a group. It's kind of things are turning up EST. I'm just going to say it. I'm going to leave it at that. Take that however you want.
This Elks team's won 5 of 6 games.
Things are turning up EST.
And the one loss that they had was a very close game. 4 points to the Montreal Alouettes. Only 2 losses this season. They are trending well. And as I said, Winnipeg Blue Bombers in a couple of weeks. Final thoughts, Jay?
Just dominance. Dominant performance. Maybe not dominance is the right word. Defensive dominance. Offensive caretaking and possession. Dominant run game. I will say that this team is running the ball at such an efficient clip right now. It's just, I literally just got goosebumps on the back of my neck talking about it. That's how important it is to a successful football team. And yeah, what a time for a bye week. Any nicks, any bruises, get it all taken care of, come back, and you are in for a treat against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers at home.
And they still have 1 more bye week this season, too.
Yeah, that's right.
So they have, it's not even like, hey, get back and it's no more breaks. They actually have 1 more that if they get business done, taken care of in the right way, right before the playoffs, they get a nice little bye week to get ready for playoffs if they can get their business done. That will wrap up the Green and Gold Postgame Show. As the Elks, as we've been saying, they defeat the Calgary Stampeders, dominate the Calgary Stampeders so much so we're talking about how many wings we can eat. You never actually answered how many you think you could do.
Yeah, I'd be in your range, like that 30 to 30.
I went 50.
No, I'm not.
I upped it up to 50.
No, I'm not there. Competitive eating, maybe this may shock you, but it doesn't really seem like something I...
Actually, quite frankly, I will say this, because it did cross my mind. You ordered the pizza, the 8-incher.
Yeah,
and you ordered onion rings.
Yeah.
And you're going home with half a pizza and your onion rings.
Yeah.
There's no chance I would have gone home with anything tonight.
Really?
I could have eaten all that.
Oh, you should ask for a piece.
No, I didn't want it. I had my own meal.
Yes.
I'm just saying, if I ordered what you had...
Sometimes my eyes are bigger
boxes.
than my stomach. My wife says that to me a lot.
And the next up for the Edmonton Elks, as we said, Winnipeg Blue Bombers in a couple weeks. Join us at Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge if you aren't heading to the game. Where every day is game day. If you are heading to the game, come to Century Casino. Train's right here. Head on down to the stadium. Come back like so many other people have done here tonight. Where after the game, you could come, have a great time, have a great bite. They have the prime rib sandwich. For $12.99 is the daily special on a Saturday. So you can come in and get any of the daily special. You can get a drink. What a way to just have a full day around the Edmonton Elks. Tomorrow on Edmonton Sports Talk, it is the final episode of this season for the VIP Golf Show with Murray McCourt and Curtis Stock. You'll want to tune in for that one. And then Monday morning, we're back with live programming from 6 till 6. It starts with the Nielsen Show, goes to the Hangout, goes to the Lock Shop. We got the Oil Stream. We got EST Afternoons, and then we got the Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. That's all coming up on Monday with a lot to discuss when it comes to this Edmonton Elks victory. Thanks to everyone for tuning in on TuneIn, iHeart, EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Those watching on YouTube and those in the future who are listening to us on the podcast, we see you. We appreciate you. On behalf of Jay, I'm Matt. Thanks for tuning in to the Green and Gold Postgame Show. Elks defeat the Stamps 37-16. Have a great rest of your weekend. We'll talk with you on Monday.